This class will be concerned with employee needs. In order to achieve a competitive advantage, in order to achieve in a competitive environment, organizations must ensure that they have the right number of staff with appropriate skills and in the right jobs. In other words, the companies must be properly configured in terms of their staff and the requirements that they have got in order to compete effectively in the marketplace. People are an important resource within the business, and it's important that the people who work for the business, the employees, have the appropriate skills and are used effectively. Organizations must ensure that there are no skill gaps which will hinder in meeting the organization's goals and objectives. A skills gap is simply a mismatch between what the employee can do and what is required. So skills gaps should be eliminated. They can be eliminated best through training. It may be on-the-job training, it may be in-house training, or it may be bought-in training. Perhaps the employee is sent on a course externally. But for whatever reason the skill gaps arise, they must be filled. So it's important that the organization, if it's to be competitive, does not have significant skill gaps. Well-trained staff will help an organization grow and prosper. But in order for this to happen, managers need to ensure that the staff are trained appropriately. So the onus is on the managers to ensure that the staff who are working there have the appropriate skills. This could be technical skills on the shop floor, skills in engineering or in carpentry or in electrical work or whatever, or there could be skills in the office, accountant skills, skills with software, marketing skills perhaps, being capable of delivering market research information and collecting appropriate information or speaking to people within the supply chain. So it's important that the managers feed back any issues associated with skill gaps. So why train the employee? Well, experience and explore the job roles. Employees should be trained in a range of job functions. It's important to have continuity within the workplace, and for all sorts of reasons, staff leave, staff are missing, and it's important that other members of staff are able to step in and fill the vacancy, fill the spot. It also ensures that there's more effective working. People are more aware of what's required in different functions, and they're able to make a contribution in terms of developing the work process, making contributions in terms of their ideas about how to work or how to restructure the business. So it's important that the employees should be well trained and have a range of job functions. When employees are trained to carry out several tasks, they are easy to adapt. They're easy to adapt to changing situations. And they have an experience of working in different roles. So when a new role develops, they are able to take it on. They're able to learn it and adopt it quickly. They're not resistant to change. The chances are, given that they already can perform several functions, if a new function develops, the chances are they will want to know about the new function and perhaps be trained in the new function. They're not resistant to change, and therefore the organization is in a better position to develop over time. And it's highly beneficial for organizations to evolve anyway. Markets are not stagnant. Markets are not fixed. The products are changing, customer needs are changing, and so on. So As the organisation changes, there are internal vacancies. Some members of staff will leave, will retire, or will simply move to other companies for various reasons. Or perhaps just some people are away ill. But for whatever the reason, it's good to have a workforce that are flexible and capable of filling the gaps. So, training is the answer. And development initiatives for employees could be that employees are constantly developing in order to meet the organisation's goals. As I said, the organisation is not fixed because the market is not fixed. Customer needs are changing, customer requirements are changing. So the organisation is changing, and therefore the employees must be changing. And for the employees to change, they need training. So training is important. But the employees themselves will welcome training, chances are, because they will see it as a part of their career development. They will learn new skills and new knowledge, and they'll have an improved job performance. They perhaps will be more motivated, more interested in their work. Their work has been enriched by the extra training. When there are skill gaps, or when they have been recognised, in other words, the difference between what employees can do and what is required, that is the skills gap. When that's recognised, then the employees can be trained to fill the skills gap and further develop existing skills, so they become even more competent, more skilled within the workforce, and more valuable as a consequence. So the employees, the chances are, will want to have the extra training. They in general should be willing to take it on and welcome it, because it'll enhance their career prospects and their job security. There's also a need for training because of the advancement in technology. As I said, organisations are always evolving. Increasing technological sophistication requires greater skills. This could be the introduction of robotics or mechanised processes. It could be new software on computers in the office. It could be new communications channels. So whatever it is, the workers need to be able to meet the challenge of the new technology. Employees need training on new software, machinery and equipment, as I said. That's important. It's important that they are competent to use the new technology in an efficient manner, because this will reflect in the costs of the business. Now, how to identify employee training needs? Well, training must be conducted whilst keeping the organisation's vision and goals in mind. So the training that is conducted must be done within the scope, if you like, of the mission of the business, the goals and the ambitions of the business. So the training must be not generalized. It should really be specific to what's required within the business. It should be focused on the requirements of the business, and it should enable the business to maximize its return from the training. Consider the current employee skill levels and determine types of training employees need. Discuss skills with employees, for example, interviews, questionnaires, online tools, skills audit and observation. So look at the employees, see what they can do, see what their competencies are, what their interests is, what are their motivations, who wants to be retrained and so on, and then provide training accordingly. Examine the most suitable training that will benefit the employees Training must be measurable to determine success. So consider what the trainees can do. Don't ask too much of them. Make sure it's within their competency range. Make sure that they're able to take on the training and succeed ahead. If they don't succeed, they will be demotivated. They will be upset and perhaps will not engage with the work or with the organisation afterwards. So the training should be focused on the skills and abilities of the workforce and what is required of them. If it is simply far too much to ask of the workforce to take on a particular piece of training, then perhaps new staff may be required. And it's important, as I said, to identify which employees is in need of training. So it's a function of management to constantly monitor the employees, constantly make observations and discuss with the employees how they see the work, how they see their task, how they could improve upon what they do and what additional skills would help them or what additional facilities would help them to improve their productivity. So it's important that the management feed back what they observe and in so doing identify the employees which are in need of training. So it's important to be able to offer training to employees dependent upon their needs. It's important to see what training employees require and to be able to provide specific training to address that need. Organisations must ensure that there is no skills or qualification gaps in employee development. And if there are, then the organisation should plan how to deliver courses or buy-in courses or buy-in instruction or training that will bridge the skills gap, which will eliminate the skills gap. So the organisation is aware of what the employees can do and what's been asked of them and also what training is available to further improve upon their skills. And it's a continuous process. Training is not a one-off. This should be done on a continuous basis. The monitoring of employees in terms of their skills and their aptitudes and what's required of them is an ongoing, I should say, process. And it's important that the management constantly monitor the workers to ensure that there is no frustration and no mismatch in terms of what the employees can do and what's asked of them. The employees, for their part, generally speaking, should welcome the opportunities for training. As I said earlier, it will enhance their career prospects and perhaps give them greater job security. And it will also hopefully improve their motivation, improve their application within work. That's all I'm going to do on this session, so I'm going to leave this talk on employee training or employee needs and say thank you for watching.